Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Special Edition. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the live shows and a link in the info box once the video has rendered. I'm joined by Anthony Riley as we have some minor adjustments and things are moving on slightly swifter than I expected, as this has been out less than 24 hours, but in regards to some of the things that Ranty has got on his camera from maybe 10 months ago. So do you want to take the bull by the horns, Anthony? You're on screen now if you want to start wherever you are.
All right, so this morning Ranty was on the debate, and last night there was a hangout that was dedicated to this. And Ranty said that it's been a few months since he's seen this on his camera, but nonetheless, this is the footage he got back from DSC-004 or whatever it was. It was ages ago. And I started to watch it last night, but I was too tired. I went to bed. Started to watch it this morning. Nathan interrupted me. So I've not really had the benefit of seeing everything. But I've seen the criticisms about it before I've seen the video, which is normally back to front. But in the hangout this morning, not being savvy with the claim, but knowing the criticisms against the claim, I was already benefited with some of the criticism, which made me think that there may be something wrong with what Ranty may have done. Not saying that there was, but I wanted to see did the evidence match the claim. And the claim was that he saw some, what were they called, met masts, and an oil platform. And I asked Ranty afterwards, what are you sure that you've got this right? Because the criticisms are such. And in the hangout, I'm just going to play two short clips. I've sped up by 15% just to make it shorter because I do have to go out. But this is the first clip.
Click on the coordinates to this, and I take the GPS, the actual coordinates, copy it, and put it into Google Earth, paste, and then search for that. It takes me here, right? That's where it says that this is the exact coordinates. This is the process that I went through to identifying where this Linux platform is, right? So if I'm wrong, so be it. But this is the process that got me to this way, and the distance is exactly 26.6 miles. Yeah.
So at this point, he's saying that he thinks he's got this identified, but if he's wrong, so be it. But he's explained his reasons for why he thinks it. And he's produced it, put it out there to see what the criticisms are. And when we went live in the hangout, I asked him basically because even without seeing the comments, the critiques against it first, this is what I asked him in the hangout. Now I've sped it up again by 15%, and I've snipped out some dead space at the end to speed it up. But this was my query this morning in the hangout. Right. So I got a question.
Okay.
Can you go back to the Google Earth?
I can.
So the first two met masts on the left-hand side.
That one and this one, yeah.
What's the thing in the foreground? Is that another wind turbine field?
This is, what is this? Oh, this is the Burbo Bank wind farms, set of wind farms, yeah.
So is it passing through turbines there before it gets to those met masts?
We have clear line of sight through them. There are no turbines that are in the way for that. As you can see, there's individual turbines, so we would bypass that. And again, the line of sight to this, we would bypass that.
So go back to the photo.
Photo, you mean the video?
Yeah, just play it. Shouldn't there be turbines in the foreground before you get to the met masts?
Not on the right-hand one, for sure. This is a clear line of sight to this one. Click on the coordinates.
So in the hangout this morning, I'd already spotted that whatever we were looking at, it wasn't matching the evidence. It wasn't like when we were looking at Chris Monk's thingy. It was like we were looking at new evidence that was the evidence was not matching when I was looking at it. And I brought it up. Here he is, right on that note. Then I can drop from this call and I can go and do my stuff. But I've got stuff to do.
Wow. So I've just done a live stream on mine, actually.
Oh, have you?
So you're coming straight from a live stream on yours to this one, where we're probably talking about the same exact thing.
Yeah, you were phoning me up whilst I was doing the live stream.
Oh, right.
I kept on.
Oh, right. So in that case, it's already you've already conceded it already then.
Yeah, I've already conceded it. Yeah, the those bonfire-like structures aren't what we thought they were. They are shipping aids. I've already addressed that. Also, the sort of like navigational things, navigational buoys or something. And of course, they look nothing like what the meteorological masts should look like. Also, so yeah, I mean, I got it wrong, and I'm holding my hands up with that. It was it was yesterday. It was at night time. We was going through it with Nathan, and I think we hastily went live with it without doing too much research into it because we were very excited about what we were seeing.
One of those, it's put out there so that people can look at it, see what you've got on your camera, and ultimately we can talk about it, and that's what's happened. You know, there's no harm in that. Long live exactly that happening again and again and again until we do come.
And I'm sure it'll happen again. But what the main thing is the wind farms still kill them.
Yes.
You know,
same as the land in the background. You know, the land in the background is considerably further away and can only be that from what I can ascertain.
Right, gents, I've got to go, so I'll leave you to it.
Okay.
No worries.
Sure.
Bye.
Well, there's probably not a great deal else to talk about, Ranty, unless you wanted to add anything.
Well, no. Who are we live with? Who is it? Is it on your channel?
Yeah, it's just on the backup channel, which it will be for a little while.
I hadn't realised. I didn't get a notification through for it, so I wasn't too sure what we were.
Well, the same applies to me. I didn't get a notification for you either, typically. So I didn't know you were live. Otherwise, I'd have probably given up on trying to get hold of you to do this one. But at least you've joined, so that's pretty much all I can ask for.
Yeah, sure. No worries. I mean, it was when I was actually looking through some of the comments on your video, and one particular gentleman, I'll get his name actually, Beer and Skittles Yum. He put 2 links in the comments that I read, and when I looked at them, I realised immediately that what I had identified as the Met mast clearly wasn't the Met mast, and also, you know, I had to throw my hands up there and say I got it wrong. The identification of those particular objects is irrelevant when you look at the wind farms in the background, and you know, that was the whole point, was to show the wind farms in the background. You want to see the furthest things that you've got a clear line of sight to, and those wind farms kill it for me. So I do apologise to everyone for getting it wrong. I'm sure we'll make it wrong. I'll get more things wrong in the future, but we don't do this on purpose. This is, you know, we tend to go live pretty quickly when we've got some information. We don't tend to sit on it, do we, Nath?
It's more interesting, and ultimately for the people who came along and went, we've debunked you, you know, yeah, give them a win. Why not? You know, going to get stuff wrong. When you do, they love it, and it makes for interesting viewing if you get it right. But you can't get everything right, so don't feel any embarrassment. I'm glad you've offered the information for it to be looked at. That's what this is all about, so that's all I'm asking. And you know, you can't really do much more than offer what you've got, show how you've investigated it, and put your hands in the air if you do get it wrong, and say, yeah, I've got it wrong, but so what? I'm sure I've got another 4,000 or 5,000 things to look at.
Well, today on your channel, I was, whilst you were talking, I was looking through some other videos, and what do I see? I see the Welsh Mountains in the background, and I present that straight away. I wasn't holding it back, sitting on it, talking about it for a couple of weeks. Saw it within 5 minutes. I was showing it and displaying it to everybody, and there we go. That's just how we roll.
Precisely. And I think it's nice, you know, people are watching this to debate it, and if every single thing we put up was undebunkable, undebatable, people would get pretty bored pretty quickly. But, you know, there's been people like Geo Schreiber who've come along and gone, no, I've immediately looked at this and you've identified things incorrectly. And he's been kind and gracious enough to pass on the information that he's got there and then, which is great, because that, again, is what the show's all about. You know, you can't get it right every time. You can't be infallible. But other people come together to say, this is how we've identified it, this is what we've looked at, this is how we see things. And you know, without those people watching the show and debating with us, we wouldn't have a show. You know, it would be a very tedious circle jerk, like a lot of the other stuff that's out there in Flat Earth at the moment, which is precisely the opposite of what I want. So, you know, I'm still very, very grateful, and yeah, hopefully people will enjoy the process when it happens time and time again from here on in.
Yeah, I mean, I think I messaged you about maybe half an hour, 40 minutes ago, and I said, I think it's this particular thing that we've identified, we've got it wrong. you then said within 10 minutes, yeah, we've conceded now that it's wrong. I was like, right, okay. So I went live and did a live stream, and it appears you went straight away and did a live stream too. So at the same time, we both had it in our heads that we needed to acknowledge our mistakes. We didn't sit on it for a few days trying to hold on to it as proof when we knew we were wrong. We did the right thing. We went live with it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You know.
So I think with that, I'll probably round out the show. It's been an absolute pleasure having both Sleeping Warrior and Ranty to tie up a few loose ends. Obviously, in this process, we've still had the Welsh mountains come into the forefront, so I'm sure these will get debated about at great length also, so hopefully we'll see some bits and bobs from Ranty's camera in the future. And with that, I'll say thank you very much to all of you who have joined us live. Be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.